Okay, I don't see anybody. Sent out the link to everyone. My computer is working. I'm a little bit nervous about opening up too many tabs here. I was going to check my email, but anyway, we're about time to start. When you get here, please put a comment in the comment section, and I'll see it pop up there. I'll know that you're here. And I guess I'm going to go ahead and start, because of course you can always look at this later, but I prefer that you were here. Let's go ahead and pull up the vocabulary that to yesterday, and planned on going over it with you yesterday, but things just don't always work out that way. Let me see if I can get this to share. Alright, that is working. Sorry about that. Once again, see if I can share the screen this time without shutting everything down. Let's give it just a minute here to ease in. Still, again, please send me just a quick message to say hi, so I know that you're here. Sent you the link actually before school began this morning, so you should have that. Okay, we got that going on. Alright, let me try to share again. Share screen. And just trying to go with the vocabulary. The chapter is Beruf. Word Beruf is going to come up in the vocabulary, But Beruf is career or job, occupation. Karriere is pretty easy when you see it spelled out to know what it means. Career, A and a few other letters, but very close to English. Slowly unveil it so we don't have to go through all that again. Just give it a second. That's all right. We'll take time to get that. Just so you know, Büroklammer is the word for a paperclip. Bureau. Bureau is an office. I'm not sure why they include that as part of the word. I guess people use Büroklammer outside of the bureau at home and who knows where else. That's the word. Büroklammer is a paperclip. It's not the most common word in the world. Okay, good. It's gone back to the beginning now. So let's let it load. But to answer the phone, this is unfortunately the first word in the list and maybe one of the longer phrases. To answer the phone, einen, which is a call. Einen Anruf entgegen. All right. This is going to take some time. To find a job, well, not too difficult. To find a job, Arbeit finden. To find work, literally. Arbeit finden. Good. Assistant. Maybe you get a job as an assistant. Maybe it's your starting position. And that's an easy word as well. Der Assistent. Or female. Good. And you don't get to have that fun of anymore unless you have an old-fashioned phone at home. Really back on part after you're angry with somebody. It's hard to push that little button on your eye enough to really get someone's attention. To hang up. Yeah, auflegen is this word. It's gonna pop here. Slow. Like I said in my email, I gotta get a new computer. Education or training. So it could be like the teachers. We get together, a couple times a semester and have we might say they're teachers' meetings or something like that. A lot of times they're professional development or professional training from the outside come in and teach us, how to do things better, do things differently, or maybe on some other topic that applies to teaching. But education, though, training could be on the talking about education before you go to the we've ever had before is the Ausbildung up here in Studio, and we'll see that word again here in just a little bit. Ausbildung. Perfect. Here we go. So that's part of the title of the chapter is this word, Karriere, and here's the word again for profession. So the title of the chapter is und. So now we're going to see Beruf and Ausbildung, I think, put right in the huge word training. You put it together and Ausbildung. Now this would be, you know, training for a specific job, or even within maybe more specific training, but towards a certain career. Berufsbildung. Good, 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 good. Meeting. So, nothing people hate more than a good meeting. All right, and the word for meeting, Besprechung. There's the word Besprechen. Besprechen is a verb, means to discuss something. So Besprechung as a noun is a meeting. People could be 20 people. Someone's applying for a job. They are the applicant. There's a group of people applying, and that is called der Bewerber, or a woman, die Bewerberin. Bewerber, it's going to be part of the verb to apply. This is English, to apply. It again mimicked an applicant, so that's going to be the same type of thing. And please hold, this is our bonus. Please hold. Call up an office and they put you on hold, and we'll have a free also. But what the person on the phone says to you is, please hold. That's, bleiben Sie bitte am Apparat for a phone. And I don't know of any other situation where they actually use the word Apparat, except for in this phrase. Those phrase stuck, and they didn't change the wording of it because it was, people knew it. So bleiben, stay on the phone is what all it says. Bleiben, to stay. It's a command. Sie bitte, even has a please in there. Bleiben Sie bitte am Apparat. And let's go on then. Oh, mention that a roller. Yep. That was the one we got. Office supplies. Yeah, you got scissors, pencils, binders, erasers, bureau right there in that little thing. Well, all those things are material. And I hope you can remember that. Office material. Bureau material. Bureau, office material. Material, supplies, okay. That's an easy one. Okay. We have who applicants, when they get hired, they become an employee, and they're not longer that. They're called Angestellte. And here's one of those words like der Deutsche, die Deutsche. That's the same for male or female. Angestellte. Angestellte. Let's look at the next word. Recommendation. Some of you may ask me here in the future to write you a letter of recommendation. This would be it's a long word in English, actually not a short word. Schreiben. Empfehlen, if it were the verb end. An Empfehlung is a recommendation. So an Empfehlungsschreiben, something that's written, and this we call that a letter. Experience. You work your way up. Eventually you can fly. I guess that's the thinking of this. That Erfahrung. Erfahrung. So do you have any experience in this field? Erfahrung. Firm, a company, or maybe even we might in English use it more loosely and call it a business. But this is a big company, so actually a big company in the United States too. They make some even appliances. They're not marketed for appliances so much here in the U.S. The company is Bosch. You may have read about Bosch in a German 1 or German 2. He's the inventor of the slug for cars. That's a pretty big deal. That's the kind of thing you can become a billionaire from. Bosch, pretty much more diversified, but they still are very much a part of the German car industry. That's kind of a lot of standard parts on the cars are made by Bosch. But they also make coffee machines and stoves and washing machines and all this stuff. But a firm or a company, I use the word firm because it's going to make more sense with the German. You may have seen it before. It's die Firma. So anything as a corporation, a company, a business, a firm, like you talk about like a law firm, that's how we usually use that word. But that's Firma. I said a lot about that. But Bosch is an important company. This one's a long one, but a high salary and a low salary. I'm not sure which one this guy has, but high salary, low salary, and has, of course, for high and low. Oops, I went to the next word, didn't I? Okay. It's hohe Gehalt, das hohe Gehalt, das niedrige Gehalt. Hohe is high, niedrige is low. So you have das hohe Gehalt, high salary, niedrige Gehalt, low salary. Business, okay, so we had die Firma. That's a larger corporation, company, but like a store, a business, a beer, maybe, or something. Let me see. I don't think recognizable. Does look like a bookstore, maybe. I just can't read the. Okay, but it's a business, right? Small business, or sometimes they use this word just talking about, a place like this, like an individual store of sort, a bookstore, whatever kind of a flower store or whatever. But that word for business in general, like, oh, I'm majoring in business, or I'm studying business, or I'm in business for myself, that would be Geschäft. Das Geschäft. And I think we had the word Blumengeschäft before, and I think another word with Geschäft in it in a previous chapter, maybe chapter before last. This is the word in German. Well, here we go. Geschäftsführer. You gotta love the word Führer thrown in there, right? Geschäft, well, business. Führer, Geschäftsführerin. It sounds more like this is the boss, right? This is the top dog, the Führer. But in this case, it's not. It's a manager. I will say that I've heard people say Geschäftsführer, and when they're talking about, oh, ich bin Geschäftsführer by dieser Firma, you're manage a certain department or something. But Germans have really, I think more frequently now, use our word, manager. Manager, just simply like that. Same spelling, maybe slightly different pronunciation. Okay, Geschäftsführer is definitely a German word. And, there's a manager. He's the Geschäftsführer. Stapler, more of the Büromaterial. We had Büroklammern. Maybe we'll have some more, but a stapler. Yeah, Hefter. Der Hefter. Alright. Receiver. So this is like a desk phone, not a cell phone, but the part you hold in your hand. And that might not be a word that comes up so much anymore, but der Hörer. The verb to hear, hören, and Hörer is that part of the phone, what they call that part of the phone. To be on hold, so we had bitte, bleiben Sie bitte am Apparat. But when someone asks you, what are you doing? Why are you not talking on the phone? That means maybe you're on hold. So to be on hold is in der Warteschleife sein. Warten, to wait. Schleife is like a line. You're waiting in line. And I guess you are waiting in line when you're on the phone, on a digital line, I guess, but of people are in front of you. Perhaps in der Warteschleife. Ich bin in der Warteschleife. This actually doesn't, you don't say this if you're waiting in line like at a store, like in person. It just kind of works on the phone. That I've ever heard it used. In der Warteschleife sein. Okay. Job interview, you gotta have a resume to present, and that's called a Lebenslauf. Life, the verb to run, but it also means like a course of your life, something like that. Der Lebenslauf is the German word for resume. Resume is actually a French word, but to leave a message, well, where you're in the Warteschleife, Apparat, and you're going to leave a message for someone, and that is eine Nachricht hinterlassen. Leave behind. Hinter, behind. Leave behind. A Nachricht is a message. Or some news, maybe. Hinterlassen. Human Resource Manager. I am not sure how this picture depicts that, but it's better than the other choices I had. So an HR manager, we used to call this a personnel office or a personnel manager. That wasn't all that long ago, and somehow I'm not sure why that wasn't acceptable. But now we call those people an HR manager, human resources, but personnel, that's using in German, Personalchef, or die Personalchefin. That's the HR manager. Human resources. Bulletin board, like I have in my room. Bulletin board. I think we had this word before. It's die Pinnwand. Die Pinnwand, like you put a Wand is the wall and pin, right? Internship. Maybe before they hire you full time, they want to give you an internship. Maybe not, but that internship is called a practicum. Practicum. Now, this is still in the medical field. Grayson, I know your mother is a registered nurse, and they have to do what they call practicals before they become a nurse. And practicals are actually working hands-on with nurses as they're in training. They're actually working in a hospital, maybe with another nurse or a group of nurses. Practicals, and in German it comes from Latin, I think, as practicum is the word for an internship, like what we do during minimester or something. A reference, yeah, if they want to check your references, that's very easy, at least for the translation, die Referenz. And to apply, well, we had der Bewerber earlier, an applicant, but the verb to apply is related to that, sich bewerben and the would be the for. So if you're going to say, I'm applying for that job, or I'm applying for a job at Bosch, let's say, it's reflexive, but ich bewerbe mich and that's the for. If you don't need to say, if I'm applying, then ich bewerbe mich. That's it, I'm applying. But I'm applying for something. Usually we throw in the word for and mention what it's for. Job, okay, at a company. So as you look for a job, you notice that they have some jobs opening. That word is called a Stelle. Stelle. A job opening is a Stellenangebot. Don't worry about the plural form here, but das Stellenangebot. Stelle, a job, position, Angebot's an offer. That wouldn't translate well in English. Job, offer, that means they've interviewed you and they want you to come work for them. But they have a job opening that they're offering, maybe, is the best way to say it. Stellenangebot. Telephone number is pretty easy. Die Telefonnummer, double N here at the end, because this one ends with N, this one begins with N, Telefonnummer. To make an appointment. There's part of the answer right there. Make an appointment. Einen Termin vereinbaren. Einen Termin vereinbaren. That's a longer phrase too. But the appointment itself, we have contract. So you sign a contract in business, you sign a contract, a work contract, that kind of contract, or that a contract is called der Vertrag. Vertrag. Then we have the interview. Now the book has a longer word for this, and you'll be thankful to me that I changed the word we're going to use for this to the more commonly used word, but plus the word I'm going to give you is not only extremely close to English, but it's also used in a broader sense, like a reporter doing an interview also. But a job interview, in the textbook it's going to say Vorstellungsgespräch. Vorstellungsgespräch, which is just a mouthful. But interview is simply das Interview. Right, das Interview. Last word, who's calling? Right, so you're answering the phone, and someone starts talking to you, and you want to know who it is. Who's calling? That's easy. Wer spricht? Yeah, we don't say wer ruft an. We say who's speaking. That doesn't sound so different than English. I mean, who's speaking? Wer spricht? Yeah, the bonus though is not, I'll move bonus around, but when we shuffle it will make a difference, but it's bleiben Sie bitte am Apparat. I think that was the bonus, right? And okay, that took a while, but I'm sorry about the delay on that. I want to pull up the homework so you've turned it in, because didn't want to get that going. I wanted to save that for last, hopefully. Let's look at some of the at the homework. I'm going to share the screen again. Good. And okay, see how we did it. Again, as I said in the email, if hopefully you've turned the homework in at this point, and it let me see if I can reset this so we don't have to. Let's try. I guess it's not. That's all right. What it is. I've done this too many times, and it's not going to give me another chance to redo it. Anyway, so we had pictures here of different items, and if it'll show up again, then we'll. There we go. So this one is Stellen or Büroklammer. Well, okay. Stellen is a position at the company, a job at the company. Büroklammer is here. I meant Pennwand. Well, this thing goes on the wall, Wand, and you put pens in it. You want to call it that helps. Pennwand. Is this a reference? Is that going to help you difference? No, but it may be a hefter. Hefter for sure. This part of the phone right here, like a job sector, is going to use that word later. We'll learn it. Or is this der Hörer, the part where you hear? Yes, this is der Hörer. Here, Praktikum. I'm in this here. Let's say in nursing you have practicals, but in German Praktikum, you might do a practicum in all kinds of areas of careers. I just know nursing, it's a big one. But or is this an Adressbuch? An Adressbuch. It looks to me like an address book. Here we have some information written on a page. Is this your salary, das Gehalt? Or is this a Lebenslauf? Is your resume. It says CV at the top. That's a phrase used in academia in the US, but is also used in German for other careers, or most other careers. Curriculum vitae, your whatever you've done in your life, I guess. Anyway, that's what CV is, but you might see that in English too. But Lebenslauf is what that's depicting there in that picture. All right, let me try to pull up the next one here. I thought about opening these all up and just going right to them, but I thought that could only lead to more problems. Alright, Definitionen, that's an easy word to figure out. Definitionen finden. I think we did this one. See if I can practice without having to. Show you the answer ahead of time. Give me just 1 second. There we go. So I'll share this with you. Die Personalchefin is a word like personnel director. We call it HR manager today. Let's see what our choices are here. We have several longer descriptions. Da liest man, wo man eine neue Stelle sucht. Studenten machen das. Students do that. Praktische Erfahrungen. Now, this is actually a career already. This is a job. This is a job someone does. So we need to find something not about students or about reading about it, but about what exactly this person would do, probably. Look at number 3. I see, mit dieser Person führt man ein Vorstellungsgespräch. Vorstellungsgespräch, see how what I saved you from? Or better word, interview. Mit dieser Person führt man ein Vorstellungsgespräch. That is that's going to be the answer. It's the personnel director or the HR manager who actually does the interviewing. And so that would be our answer there. What about there? But this is the title of the chapter, a career or job, occupation maybe. And okay, well, let's find something that describes occupation. Here I see, das ist die Arbeit, die man jeden Tag macht. That's the work you do every day. Yeah, that's your Beruf. That's your Beruf. Das Praktikum. Had this a couple times now. Praktikum. Probably know what it means, and I think that's going to be something that you, as a student, you would do. As a usually as a student, it doesn't have to be necessarily, but you're learning, so you're a student of some sort. And Studenten machen das. Why? Praktische Erfahrungen. The word Erfahrung in our vocabulary. Erfahrung is experience. Praktische Erfahrung, practical experience. Now we're seeing the connection between praktisch, practical, and Praktikum. Right? So it's a practical experience. It's not only is it practical because it's going to be more helpful than classroom teaching, but it's in the practice of your job or what you want to do. So that's the right answer there. Warteschleife. This is one of our longer phrases on the phone, and they put you on hold. You say, "Ich bin in der Warteschleife." So this is, you're on hold. Well, we've used a few of these now. Let's find one about a phone here. Last one. Hier bleibt man oft lange. You're going to stay here a long time. Wenn man zu viele Telefonanrufe zur selben Zeit ankommt. Zur selben Zeit means at the same time. Too many phone calls at the same time. You get put in the Warteschleife. Stellenangebote, job offerings. These are all new words, I know. Stellenangebote. You're going to find those in a newspaper. That helps at all. Maybe online now too, but in some type of section of an online website that gives you job opportunities. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. Die liest man, you read this, wenn man eine neue Stelle sucht, when you're looking for a new job. Okay. You're looking for, du suchst eine Stelle, and they have a Stellenangebot. They have a job that they're offering. At least this is the last one. Empfehlungsschreiben. There's that long word, empfehlen, to recommend. Empfehlungsschreiben, recommendation letter. And that one's going to be the only one left here. Let's see here. There we go. Das schickt man zusammen mit einer Bewerbung ab. A Bewerbung is an application. Bewerben is to apply. Bewerber is an applicant. But you send this with an application. An Empfehlungsschreiben. Right? Or maybe the person recommending sends it separately. But das schickt man zusammen mit einer Bewerbung ab. That's the answer there. Well, let me see here. Last time I checked, nobody was here. It makes me nervous that maybe somehow the email didn't come through or there's some other problem. But I sent the email this morning before school started, trying to be ahead of the game. Let's look at one more. Let's look at one more here that we did. Was passt? Was passt? Share that one with you as it's loading. Show you, but we may not have time even finishing all the homework, but I'm going to get this out of the way. Again, I hope, well, you should have already turned it in, so there's no way to change your answer. Well, this is just, again, this whole thing, like I said yesterday, this is vocab building information. That's submitted. Ein Job ist, well, I've kind of told you. Is it a resume? Internship? Here's the word, ein Vorstellungsgespräch. That's a synonym. Job interview or interview, and of course job interview makes it specific to, getting a job, and not like a reporter interviewing you, as opposed to, and this word is definitely for getting a job. A Vorstellungsgespräch is this word here. So here's a sentence here. Ich möchte eine Stelle bei blank Apple. Apple we know. Eine Stelle is a position or a job. Ich möchte eine Stelle bei der Erfahrung, Experience, der Ausbildung, bei der Firma Apple. Apple. Yeah. Sounds weird, but Sabine ist Elektroingenieurin. This is a phrase. Now, this one you might have had to look hard for this one. If we say that, I don't know how we say this in English, but I'm an engineer by trade. I don't know, by training. I'm an engineer, this electrical engineer here, let's say, for a living, maybe, something like that. That's what I do for a living. In German, though, they'll say this. Ich bin, like I would say, ich bin Lehrer von Beruf. Maybe turn it around, the whole thing. My job is being a teacher. Now, that may be a better way of translating it. Sabine's job is an electrical engineer. So Sabine ist Elektroingenieurin von Beruf. Not by appointment, that's interesting, or by salary, or by application, but by her career, I guess. Für einen Bäcker, a baker, dauert blank 3 bis 4 Jahre. Something takes 3 or 4 years to become a baker. The experience takes 3 or 4 years. The salary takes 3 or 4 years. Being on hold for 3 or 4 years. What about die Ausbildung? The education takes 3 or 4 years. I think that makes more sense. So, the training takes 3 or 4 years. Zu einer Bewerbung, along with an application, gehören Referenzen, have some references, und a paperclip, a resume, bulletin board, receiver, no, I think resume. So yeah, application, got a couple references there, and you've got your resume. They can see what you've done before. Let's do one more of these. Again, we can translate this word as interview, but so we know, Vorstellungsgespräch. Für das Vorstellungsgespräch muss der Bewerber blank vereinbaren. And we have this word in our vocabulary. This word really is really only used with this phrase, and it's to make something, but not literally make something, but make a sector, make a stapler. Yeah, you gotta make a stapler in the interview. That'd be a real challenge. A position. Now, the phrase is einen Termin vereinbaren. So if you want to interview, the applicant muss der Bewerber einen Termin vereinbaren. The applicant has to make an appointment. Yeah. Okay. Well, let me. Nice. Okay. Doesn't look like anyone signed in, but this is going to be available to you later. I'm not quite sure. I sure hope the email went through. But I'm going to stop there. We'll hopefully be back in class on Monday, but Sunday doesn't look so great either for weather, so we'll just have to see. Okay, I'm going to double check my email whenever I stop this and make sure that it went through and that you got it. But maybe there's some other reason. Maybe there's a reason on my end. I know I'm having problems somehow, but at any rate, I'll also, when I do that, I'll email you guys the link to this lesson so you can watch it at a later date. All right. Tschüss, auf Wiedersehen, schönes Wochenende und hopefully, bis Montag. Bis Montag. Ciao.